Alright guys, welcome back to another episode. Once again, my name is Juan, and this is Goku Guidance. Alright, so the title of today's video is Semen Retention will give you... It's either superpowers or you will become a superhuman. What do I mean by that? I don't mean it in the cartoony or in the comic book way where you can fly or shoot lasers out of your eyes, or even bolts of lightning out of your ass. Not like that. But what I could tell you is that it enhances the body to its full 100% potential. So I used to wear glasses not long ago. My vision is not that deteriorated, but I know for a fact that when you masturbate and when you live basically a heathenistic lifestyle of drugs, alcohol, and anything that you can think of, plus masturbation and pornography, it degenerates the body. So degeneration just means the breaking down of, like rotting or just dying off, and that's also where we get the word degenerate. Like you're a degenerate because you're degenerating. So your organism degenerates. And the thing about semen retention is the brain and the testicles are connected together. So even the thought, you don't have to watch pornography to get off or to get an erection. Just the thought, just the fantasy in your mind. Like if you're fantasizing about sex, you'll start producing semen in the testes, and you can actually feel a tingly feeling, and then the tingly feeling turns into an erection. It's telling your body that it's getting ready to have sex. And if you lose your life force, your body starts to degenerate, okay? And the most affected parts of your body, it starts with the brain. That's really what starts to degenerate. It's the brain. And lo and behold, what is the organ that's directly connected to the brain? Is the eyes. So your eyes, you will see it in the eye, the starts of the degeneration, and you can usually tell if somebody's a degenerate just by looking at their eyes. Like they'll have their eyes are you'll look in their eyes and it looks like they're just you look like a sexual pervert. You can see sexual pervert. Yeah, it all starts with the eyes, and you're like, well, how do you know? Well, because the eyes, they're the windows to the brain. You can actually see with a magnifying glass, and you can see the deterioration of somebody's brain or their brain health through their eyes. And there's another parable that the eyes are the windows to the soul. If you peer into somebody's eyes, you're actually peering into their soul. You're actually staring in their soul. You're actually looking when you're intensely looking somebody in the eyes. You're not just looking at a physical body, but you're actually looking into the person's soul. You can see basically everything. You can see if the person, if the man or woman is of a sensual nature, and you can also see if their morals are straight, if they're morally correct person, like they don't masturbate, they don't steal, they don't hate, they're genuinely a good person, or at least try to be a good person. So it all starts with the eyes, and you can physically see it. You don't even have to stare that close into their eyes. As soon as you make eye contact with somebody, what you're doing with that person, you're not just acknowledging their presence as a human being, but you're actually acknowledging that, hey man, this is a human soul. This is a human soul, and not only am I acknowledging you that you're a person, but I'm actually acknowledging that you have a living soul inside of you, just by the mere fact that you're staring into somebody's eyes. So the eye health, as soon as you start retaining, maybe within the next, because it's different for everybody. Within the first maybe 3 to 6 months, you will notice a change in your eyes. Your eyes will be brighter. Your eyes will be clear. You'll have lustrous eyes. When you can basically defeat enemies with your eyes. And if you were to stare into a woman's eyes, like you can actually but you can actually have women fall in love with you with the eyes. And everybody will tell you the same thing. It's like, well, what's the first thing that you look at when you look at a woman? And the perverted man will always say, oh yeah, I look at the ass, bro. The perverted man always thinks with his lower head. That's why we have these expressions in the English language. That's why the expressions in the English language exist. It's like, oh, bro, you're thinking with the wrong head. You're thinking with your balls, bro. You're thinking with your dick. And the reason why we have these expressions in the English language is because it's true. And the person that gives to this they give in to their lust, they only think with their dick. And these people usually see women as objects of self-gratification, because these people are lost. And it's like, honestly, I want to say it's like 90%, but it's more than 90%. It's like 99% of the people. Like, have you ever hang out with a group of people? Just a group of men, just hanging out, men. And like we men like to shoot the shit. We all like to talk shit and bullshit because we're men, right? Like, we all like to bullshit and be like, oh yeah, talk about sports, talk about whatever. And then you'll usually have the one dude talking about just women all the time. It's like, oh yeah, women this, women that, women that. And like, there'll be like maybe one or two that be like, yeah, we don't care, right? But as soon as a beautiful woman walks by, they don't even have to be beautiful. Because the men that are addicted to lust, they don't care if they're pretty or not. As soon as a woman walks by, as soon as she walks by, they do this number. And you're like, dude, like, you're like, all of them do it. All of them do it. I try not to do it, because I'm an SR, and I have to hold myself to a higher standard, whether I want to or not. But I've done it in the past. When just a woman walks by, it can be a 45-year-old lady, she's not even that good looking, and you're just like, oh yeah, right? It's because the people are perverted. Right? So it like the deterioration, it starts with the brain, and then it follows with the eyes. So when you're an SR, you don't have enhanced vision, but your body is working at 100% of your genetic essence. So whatever eyes you were gifted with, whatever vision that you were gifted with, it will fully restore to 100%. So I have zero necessity for glasses anymore. Same thing with injuries. If you injure yourself, this is also a superpower. When you injure yourself, you heal faster. And you're like, well, how is that? Because the body reuses every resource that it has for the injury. Yes, sure, you're not gonna heal like the Wolverine instantly. And it's like I said, like this isn't comic book like superpowers. This is like real life, a real life superpower that most people don't have. Same thing with the immunity system. The immunity system is working at full 100% potential. And most people, like personally, when I used to get sick, I was out for like 5, 6, 7 days out with a fever, cough, runny nose, all this stuff. Obviously, I still take medication if I get sick, but I've noticed that usually when I get a cold or something like that, I'm good after like 3-4 days, like 100%, 100%, 100%. Any injury that I get, same thing. It would like cut a wound, anything. It usually takes maybe anywhere between a week to about maybe 15 days to fully recover. I've noticed that the last time I injured my back was roughly about 2 weeks ago. I was at 100% after 7 days. It wasn't a severe injury, but it took me out towards where I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk. And this just recently happened. Also, another thing, I was talking about it in my last video. Your digestive power enhances. And you're like, well, why would you want an enhanced digestive power? So that you can consume more food for muscle repair, muscle growth, basically for everything that your body requires. And I was having a conversation with, like I mentioned in my last video where the guy's like, oh yeah, bro, like you have to like shove in protein like 7 times a day. And if you really think about that and you're like, well, what happens if you shove it in and you're just, what happens if you just shove in all that protein? Your body can't process it. You'll just be sitting there miserable. And then what? And then you shove in some more, bro. It's like, why? Only an idiot or a person with low intelligence would do that. And then what happens after that? And then you shove in more. It's like, the body wasn't designed for that. The body has its own auto fail system towards where as soon as, if you think of that logic, it's like filling up your car with gas and it's already full, but you're like, no, bro, the guy at the gym said that I have to keep filling it. It's like, bro, it's spilling and you're wasting it. Yeah, but the guy said that I have to fill it like 5 times a day. It's like, doesn't that sound a little moronic? It sounds moronic. It sounds utterly, stupidly moronic. Why would anybody do that? You're just hurting yourself, right? But yet again, we're dealing with people with low intelligence. And like I said, like, well, why would you want an enhanced digestive system so that you can actually break down all the protein and actually only feed the body when it requires it? Only when it requires it. And that's why the intermittent fasting is 100%. It is a must when you're on SR. It is a 100% must so that you can actually get all of the benefits out of it, so that all of your essence, it is at 100% of what your natural essence is. So yeah, and you're like, well, what does the intermittent fasting do for you? I'm not a scientist, okay? I'm not a doctor, but I know for a fact that when you're intermittent fasting, the body goes into autophagy and it starts to eat itself, right? And then the HGH, which is the human growth hormone, it goes up to about 150%, maybe even higher than what it is normally by you just working out and lifting weights. So in your recovery time, you actually enhance muscle growth. And then when you actually do feed the body, you will have an insane physique, whatever physique that you may have. You can be an ectomorph, whatever body type that you may have, but you will have the most insane physique I wouldn't say in the whole world, but you will have an insane physique. And then people will come up to you and they'll be like, hey man, like I can swear to you on everything that I love that people will walk up to you and they'll, first of all, they'll be like, can I take your picture? Boom. And you'll just be like, hey man, like I'm just random fucking strangers are just taking my picture, and they're like taking my picture like we're like doing like we're all buddies and stuff. It's like, dude, I don't know this guy. And then second of all, they'll be like, hey man, like can you give me the secret recipe? They will ask for the secret recipe. They will ask for it. And then the intelligent people will actually will intake that information and they'll use it to their advantage. But the low intelligence people, they'll be like, I don't believe a damn word this fucker says. So yeah, so you will have an enhanced nervous system. Your bones will heal faster. Any wound will heal faster. You'll have enhanced vision, enhanced intelligence. That is the first thing that you will notice on SR. Is enhanced intelligence. That's like literally the first thing. Your body, because you're not burdening yourself with like constant food, your brain actually starts to think better. Same in the same thing works with the intermittent fasting. Your brain just snaps faster. I can't remember what it's called, but I know for a fact it's the brain-derived neurons that activate when you're fasting. So you're just putting benefits on top of benefits. It's brain-derived neurons that only activate only when you're intermittent fasting. And then not to mention the mental clarity when you hit the gym. The supreme mental clarity when you go to the gym, and you're like, well, why do you get mental clarity when you go to the gym? Because you're basically pumping blood around your body, and the blood is just pumping around the brain. Boom, 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 boom. Like you just pump so much blood, you just pump so much oxygen into your body that like usually when people leave the gym, they're like, man, I feel better. Not only do I feel better, I can think better. I can think clearer. And you're doing your intermittent fasting, which helps you with the brain-derived factor, and then you're doing your intermittent, and then you're doing your semen retention, which enhances intelligence. And that's why I keep stressing. Is enhanced intelligence, and that's why I keep stressing. It's like you're dealing with low intelligence people. Why? Because they're willingly throwing their semen away, and they don't want to hear anything about like these people can be highly educated. These people can be college graduate. These people can be whatever it is that you want. But if you're spilling your seed and you're not intermittent fasting, all that potential is just being thrown out in the trash. And that's why I keep saying, it's like, why did this guy keep mentioning low intelligence people? It's because that's what it is. Not to mention the diet. The modern day diet, like all the food that comes in like boxes, chips, sodas, all that shit's designed to keep you dumb. It's designed to keep you dumb and addictive. Why would they do that? It's because a man that can think for himself is a dangerous man. It's a very dangerous man. Well, because we're exposing all of this information. And then, does that make sense? And then other people will follow. And then what? And then if everybody gets on the same train, all of these companies will go bankrupt. People will be like, well, I don't want to drink that shit anymore. I don't want to fucking eat fucking Cheetos anymore. They'll go bankrupt. They don't want you to think. They want you hooked. They want you addicted. They want you to pay for fucking poison. And then they'll sell you the fucking cure. They'll be like, well, now you got fucking diabetes and you're all fucked up in the head and you got all these fucking whatever health complications. Well, we have a pharmacy down the street. Here's your prescription. Yeah, you need to take all this shit basically till you die. And if you think I'm bullshitting, just fucking look outside. Just look outside. There's a reason There's a real reason why here in Mexico, like literally, if you've ever been in Mexico, there's a pharmacy in literally every other corner, and they all sell the same shit. They all sell the same shit. There's a pharmacy in every other corner. And it's because these companies aren't stupid. And you won't have to be dependent on that. You won't have to be depending on any of this crap. You will have a fulfilled life. You will be healthier. Obviously, the enhanced skin and everything. And it all reflects in the eyes and in the face, and you can tell. You can tell. It's not hard to tell who's on semen retention, but when you meet one of these individuals, you will see him walking down the street and be like, I think that dude's retaining. Well, how do you know? Just kind of look at him. And if you know this information, you'll be like, yeah, I think that dude retains. And if you really want, just walk up to him and ask him. And a real retainer will have zero reasons to lie to you or to tell you. It's like, no, bro, I don't retain. I fucking take all these supplements and all this shit. Does that make sense? Like they'll just be like, yeah, bro, I retain. And you're like, well, how would you know? It's because talent recognizes talent. A retainer recognizes another person that retains. They're hypermasculine. Their skin glows. They're strong as shit. And they're not necessarily buff. They're just really strong. Because that's another thing that that I stress about. Like, you don't necessarily have to go lift weights, but if you can do push-ups, pull-ups, or even go jogging for 20-30 minutes a day, you will glow. Your skin will glow. You will be more attracted to the opposite sex, and there's a reason why. That's another superpower. You will become more attractive. You will become more attractive for both sexes, for man and female. It's like, why? Because you will become a man's man. And that is a superpower in itself. You will become a man's man, a manly man, a man of courage, a man of strength, a man of goodwill, an honorable man. These are all traits. You will become a moral man. Moral. The highest trait that you can possibly have. And men look up to that. You will become a leader of men because men, like real men, look up to that. You will become a real leader of men, and that's another superpower. You can call it whatever you want, trait, superpower. Like, you will become a genuine leader, and people will follow you because they're like, it's like I said in my last video, people secretly want to be like you. And in order for you to be a leader of men, you have to be a follower. And you're like, at one point I was a follower. Because I secretly wanted to be like these people. That's why I copied what they did. Does that make sense? Once you feed the baby bird and the baby bird no longer needs feed from your hand, you just let him fly. It's like, hey man, go lead other men. Go lead other men and lead them in the path of righteousness. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah, so these traits or superpowers will help you. They're all benefits, and you'll actually live a long life. You'll live longer than most of these people. And you're like, why? Because you're not addicted to crap. You're not addicted to pornography. You're not addicted to lust. You're not addicted to... Does that make sense? Anyways, guys, I hope this video was very insightful for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Once again, my name is Juan. This has been Goku Guidance. Until next time, fellas.